You can't force your body to change. I addressed this in the episode, What It Means to Actually Train. In short, what you can do is choose to introduce circumstances to which the body must adapt. The body, in turn, does what it does. That said, the beliefs you hold and the mindsets you adopt influence how the body adapts to those circumstances. When it comes to your health and fitness, it's not just what you choose to do, it's also what you choose to think about what you do. You're no doubt familiar with the placebo effect. How does it apply to exercise? Let's find out. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Self-Control, from Fitness to Flourishing. Ellen Langer, an American professor of psychology at Harvard University, once suggested the benefit of exercise is just a placebo. The placebo effect refers to taking an inactive substance, commonly called a sugar pill, assuming it's real and that it's medicine, and getting the results you'd expect to get from real medicine. In other words, you believe you're going to get better, and you do, just because that's what you expected. The effect has a lot of data to back it up, because every new drug must outperform the placebo effect to be approved. Professor Langer made her claim about exercise and the placebo effect to Dr. Alia Crum, a student at the time who she was mentoring. Professor Langer was being provocative, but also wanted to explore this idea. This led to a study they published together entitled Mindset Matters, Exercise and the Placebo Effect. They got together 84 female hotel room attendants for the study. They measured health variables affected by exercise: weight, body fat, blood pressure, waist to hip ratio, and body mass index. They divided the group into informed and uninformed. Those in the informed group were told that cleaning hotel rooms is good exercise, and all that activity satisfies the general recommendations for an active lifestyle. They were provided examples of how the movements they regularly performed in their duties mimicked exercise movements they might do in a gym. Those in the uninformed control group were not given this information. 4 weeks later, the informed group let the researchers know they were getting more exercise than they initially reported. That makes sense, as they were essentially told this is what was happening, although their actual behavior did not change. The participants were carefully monitored to ensure that they did not do any extra exercise or that they changed their diet. And what about the changes other than their perceived levels of exercise? Compared to the control group, they improved all their measurements: weight, blood pressure, body fat, waist to hip ratio, and body mass index all improved. That's pretty amazing, because here's all that changed. Initially, the hotel workers thought work is work, but it's not exercise. Then they were informed, actually, work is exercise. That's all it took for their bodies to adapt to their work differently by making them healthier. A belief changed their results without changing anything else. There were criticisms of this study. For example, maybe they changed their behavior without realizing it. They might have moved faster or carried more supplies during their workday, for example. That's certainly a possibility, though the amount of work didn't substantially change as per the hotel's regular booking schedules. So, Can mindset actually change the objective physiology of the body, other than maybe just getting someone to change their behavior without conscious awareness, as was suggested in the criticism? Another study done with milkshakes this time provides some pretty wild evidence that it can. This study, entitled Mind Over Milkshakes, Mindsets, Not Just Nutrients, Determine Ghrelin Response, was also done by Dr. Alia Crum. A supply of French vanilla milkshake was concocted and divided into 2 batches. One was the sensible shake. This was labeled as having 0% fat, 0 added sugar, and only 140 calories. The second was called the indulgent shake. This was labeled as containing vanilla ice cream, whole milk, and a whopping 620 calories. In fact, both were the same and had 380 calories per serving. When participants in the study believed they consumed the indulgent high-calorie milkshake, their ghrelin levels dropped 3 times more rapidly. This implied their bodies responded as if they had consumed more food, feeling fuller and more satisfied. Ghrelin is the hunger hormone. When ghrelin rises high enough in the stomach, that's the signal, time to eat. Initially, the scientific understanding was that ghrelin levels were dictated by calories. Sufficient calories in the stomach, lower levels of ghrelin, and you feel full or content. Insufficient calories, higher levels of ghrelin, and you feel hungry. This milkshake study suggests just believing you've eaten, or drank in this case, enough calories, and your ghrelin levels drop as if you actually had eaten enough. Does this mean we can simply alter our beliefs to avoid exercise itself or ingesting quality food? That is a hard no. Not even close. Obviously, if you have a hard physical job, exercise may not be necessary. But there are aspects of exercise that one usually does not get from just physical labor. That aside, that mentality of just change your beliefs is like trying to avoid the fundamentals. Exercise, quality nutrition, and good sleep as a lifestyle is the best set of circumstances for the body to adapt with excellent health and fitness. That the hotel workers gained benefit for realizing they were getting exercise from their job would pale in comparison to a well-implemented exercise practice. And I imagine the long-term effects of consistently consuming more or less calories than you're aware would play out as expected, weight gain or weight loss, respectively. We do not have power over reality. Facts are facts. Believing the bridge isn't washed out won't provide the means to cross the river. Similarly, believing you're getting the calories you need, but you end up 1,000 calories short every day, no matter how full you feel, can only result in burnout and exhaustion. Believe me, I was a hypnotist. The mind is powerful. It will surprise you with what it's capable of doing. But defying the laws of physics is not within its capabilities. Aside from my little rant there, these studies do show the mindset you bring to your exercise and the foods you eat does change how the body responds. What you believe about your efforts makes a difference. How you interpret your circumstances changes your experience. I covered this in Choosing Your Experience, Whatever the Circumstances. What beliefs do you hold that help influence your body to realize your health and fitness goals? What beliefs might be making that realization more difficult? Imagine the possibilities of a small change in mindset. Better yet, imagine adopting virtuous self-control as your foundational mindset. Then you'll be living your highest values while realizing your most important goals, whatever the circumstances. Circumstances that might include stealthy researchers messing with your milkshakes. That's it for today. Catch you next time.